Okay, so let's go ahead and start breaking down the trades from this morning. The two stocks I traded, PRFX and LASC. These are the two stocks that are actually right now both the leading gainers on the day. PRFX up right now 129%, which is my biggest winner of the day, and LASE up 74%, although it's pulling back a little bit. Now, both of these have over 80 million shares of volume. GXAI is leading with 104 million shares of volume. So our top leading gainers definitely have a lot of volume. They have a lot of tension. But unfortunately, today was, just another one of those days where we didn't really get strong follow through. So the headline on PRFX was related to NVIDIA, but not, substantial enough that the stock went up, but not enough for it to go up 200, 300, 400%. Again, maybe in a hotter market, that same exact headline would have given us a bigger move, but with the market being a little cooler, traders are a little more hesitant, and then shorts are a little more aggressive, and that all results in the moves being a little bit less extreme. So let's go back to my first trade of the day. Now, it was actually on LASE, L-A-S-E. So when I sat down this morning, I saw that this one had put in a move after hours, pulled back, and then was kind of starting to curl back up. And we had actually seen a number of stocks last week that had given us this kind of setup, and that really played out pretty nicely. So my first trade on it wasn't until about 7:13 this morning. So here's the tricky thing. Going into 7 a.m., I didn't really think it was going to work that well. So here's 7 a.m. right here, a little spike of volume. So it's kind of slow, and then boom, that's 7 a.m. And then all of a sudden, right here on this candle, it pops up like 50 cents a share, 70 cents a share. It makes this really big move, but I didn't see that coming. I really didn't expect it. So I missed it completely. It then pulls back, it then pops up. And so I ended up trading it right in this area. And I actually bought on this candle right here, which ended up being a red candle. That's annoying. So why did I get in there? Well, we had sort of had this little dip and it popped up, another little dip, and I was getting in there and I was looking for the break through this high. Unfortunately, that didn't end up working. And so I stopped out for a loss. And then, 2 minutes later, it goes up and I said, I'm not getting back in up here. I'm leaving this one alone. I don't trust it. And it is what it is. At least the loss is small. So I lost about $1,500 on that first trade. Okay. So it ends up going up a little bit higher. It pulls back. And then my next trade on it was on this micro pullback right here at the open. So I bought the break of 5, and it ends up going from 5 all the way up here to a high of 5.30. Well, 5.34. It's only 30 cents a share. It's not really that. It looks pretty big on this chart because this is all so compressed. More or less, this traded in a really tight range today. Interestingly, it's only got a 1.5 million share float, but each of these candles right here have over 1 million shares of volume. So just this very high level of float rotation, a relatively low level of supply, but a lot of demand. Typically, we create a big move in price. And so it's a little bit interesting that it didn't move higher in sort of a more substantial way. But in any case, that's the way it goes. So so that was LASE. And then, I'm sorry, the float is actually a little bit higher. But nonetheless, still kind of the same. So PRFX, this one also has a low float, and is truly 1.5 million shares. But the issue with this one, similarly, is that it's just not moving, which is very strange. It's just so thickly traded. So the dip, the rip, the sell-off, halting down, back up, a jackknife candle right there. So on this one, it pops up with this news headline here of accepted into the NVIDIA Connect program, which I thought, I don't even know how significant that is. But all right, it is what it is. So it pops up. So my first trade was right here. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. It's a red candle. So I lost $1,700 on that. So it was down $3,200 on the day after that trade. Pulls back, comes back up. Right in this area, I was watching for a possible inverted head and shoulders. And we ended up kind of getting it, but I just missed this candle. It just sort of happened too quickly and just didn't really work out. Ends up going up to 40, just sort of not easy right here. Then it pulls back, pops up, dips down. but I ended up getting in right here for this red to green move in at $3.18. It ends up going up to 360. And that was actually my best trade of the day right there, that little squeeze. Now, part of the reason I took that squeeze was because I had just traded LASE on this kind of squeeze at the open, but it was pulling back. And I thought, well, if this one's pulling back, what's our second leading gainer of the day? You know, maybe attention will switch back to PRFX. And it did. And so we got that nice trade, but then it rolls over, halts down, then a slow recovery back up, and then that jackknife candle right there, that's not so pretty. So today, definitely a day to, stay dialed back with smaller share size, not to try to be too aggressive. Get in, get green if you can, get out. Or if you're red, just keep the red days small. That's kind of the name of the game. During a colder market, it's just survive till you thrive. Keep your head above water. Just tread water. You don't need to make a lot of progress. You just don't want to lose a lot of ground. So for those of you guys who haven't already checked out a 2-week trial, link is pinned at the top of the comments and in the description. During your 2-week trial, you can watch over my shoulder while I'm trading. And one of the things I'll tell you is that getting good at trading in a in a cold market is a really important skill to have. Because if you can do well in a cold market, that's really the test. Doing well in a hot market, you've got a lot of volatility, things are moving. I'm not going to say trading's easy. It's not. Trading is risky and you've got to be careful. But obviously, if we could choose one or the other, we would all rather trade in a hot market. But hot markets don't last forever. Eventually, they cool off and you get cold markets. And what I've seen are traders who will make money during a hot market and then they give back everything they made when the market cools off. And so then over the course of 6 months, they're break even. And it's not because they don't know how to make money. It's because they're not good at scaling back and slowing down when it cools off. So I try to lead by example. I'm trying to exercise discipline right now. And so total P&L on the day, you can see right here, I'm only up $3,000. This is not a big green day, but I'm okay with that. Small green days, small red days. This is just survive, getting through this period. And then once we get to the other side and we start seeing things open up, and next thing you know, I'm up 10, 15, 20,000 on the day, I've got a cushion, I can take some risk. And that's exactly what happened on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week. Monday and Tuesday were slow, and then things picked up a bit on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so I still ended up making about $60,000 last week. So this week, with a red day yesterday of about, 2,800, and then a green day today. I haven't made any progress on the week, but I'm holding my account steady. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not taking big risk, and I'm showing up every day because you just never know what the market's going to give you. So maybe tomorrow will be slow, but maybe tomorrow we'll get that one really nice move. And the fact is, one trade, one stock that really explodes and goes up 500, 700, 800%, that can change the entire month, especially on a slower month like this. So it is important to show up every single day. And so I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And for those of you guys that haven't already checked out the trial, I hope you check it out. And I hope to see you in the morning. So reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. So manage your risk, take it slow, and let's see you guys in the morning.